Hello again, Messy Easter. I'm Sarah and I'm going to talk you through how to make an interactive Easter story picture. That's a bit of a mouthful. The only reason it's interactive is that there are parts that move on the picture. Okay, so for this craft, you are going to need a little bit of sellotape, some glue, some scissors, and maybe if you want to get messy, a little bit of paint. Also, from your bag, you need to take out a piece of blue paper. Now, there are two pieces of blue paper, so just make sure you keep one to the other side for the other craft. There, you also need a black piece of paper, and then, hold on, I can't pick it up. There are two printed sheets of paper that look like this. Now, the first thing I need to say is if you haven't got a bag at all, then don't worry, because what you can do is you can have a look at each picture as I show you, and you can draw your own pictures, which will make it even better, I'm sure, because you are brilliant at making things. Okay, so the first thing you need to do once you've gathered all those bits and got the pieces that you need out of your bag is to cut out the pictures from the sheets. Okay, so first of all, I want you to cut out the handprint world, and that's going to go in the middle of your picture, and then up on this side you're going to put a little piece of paper that says sin gets in the way. On the opposite side, you're going to stick a little picture of Jesus. At the bottom, on this side, you're going to cut out and stick the cross. And then here, we've got an empty tomb. Okay, now this is my suggestion, and it is up to you how messy you want to get. I had to go at doing it on Sunday morning. So if you fancy having a go at creating your own handprint world, this is what you could do. So you'll need the blue piece of paper and some green paint, okay? And then you pop it on a plate and pop your hands into the paint and print all over the paper, and then you can cut out a circle so that it looks like the handprint earth that I showed you before. But you don't have to do that, it's your choice, okay? So then we get to the next part, and you're going to need some of the words, and we're going to stick them under each part of the picture. So the first one that you need is one that says, God made everything. Because that's what happened right back at the beginning. So I thought I'd do it a bit Blue Peter and do it step by step with you. So I've got my glue, and I'm putting a bit of glue on the back of the piece of paper that says, God made everything, and I'm going to stick it underneath the earth. Okay? Because that's what happened first of all. And then we've already got our writing here. It says sin gets in the way. And when God made everything, he said that it was really good. But quickly people wanted to do things their own way instead of God's way. And that's what we call sin. And that gets in the way of us being friends with God. But God had a plan all along, and he sent Jesus. I dropped it on the floor. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the back of that one and stick it. It says, God sent Jesus. I'm sticking it underneath where Jesus is. Now I should say, actually, probably should have said this earlier, but if you need a little bit of help with you cutting out, get a grown-up to help you. But if you're happy to do it all by yourself, brilliant. Okay, so we've got God made everything, sin gets in the way, and God sent Jesus. But Jesus gave up his life on the cross. So So I'm just grabbing that piece of paper. Here it is. I'll put a little bit of glue on the back and stick it underneath the cross. Jesus gave up his life. And then there's another piece of paper that tells us the good news that Jesus didn't stay dead, and actually Jesus rose again and he is alive. So find your little piece of paper that says he is alive and pop a bit of glue on the back for me, and then stick that underneath the empty tomb. And we've kind of almost finished the first part of our picture without the interactive bits. So it's just flat at the moment and we can tell a story, but it isn't interactive yet. Now it's going to become interactive. So there's another piece of paper that says Jesus' death makes us God's friends. So the good news of Jesus' death on the cross is that we can be friends with God again. So now I've folded, can you see, one of the edge backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. And then I'm going to put a little bit of glue just on the bit that I've folded backwards and forwards, not the big bit. And I'm going to stick it over the top of where it says sin gets in the way, because sin doesn't have to get in the way anymore because of what Jesus did. Okay, so there we've got our first interactive bit, a flap that goes up and down. Now the next bit, this is probably the trickiest bit in terms of cutting out. You need to cut out your two arms and hands. Okay, so we're going to stick them. I like them facing down, and I use them a bit like a template, and I cut out a different coloured piece of paper, but you can use the ones off the sheet, you can colour them in, or you can leave them plain. That's totally up to you. So I'm going to use a tiny bit of sellotape. I'm going to put them on the edge, sort of in the middle, and I'm going to have the thumbs pointing down. So I'll put a tiny bit of sellotape on one side of the arm and wrap it round the back. If you haven't got sellotape, then you could just tuck a little bit of the arm behind and use glue again. That's absolutely fine. And then I'm going to put the other hand facing down on top on the other side, and I'll get another bit of sticky tape. Oh, it's not coming, and it is. So I've sellotaped that one on as well, so they both move backwards and forwards over your picture. Okay, so when they're stretched out wide, I want you to find the little strip of paper, and I want you to find the piece of paper that says Jesus stretched out his hands on the cross. And you can, when they're open wide, you can choose which arm, which hand you stick them on. So again, I'm going to get my glue stick and I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the back. And make sure it's up the right way. I'm going to stick it along the arm so it looks like that. Can you see? I've stuck it on the arm, and then we can fold them in like that, one on top of the other. And then you should have one piece of paper left now with words on it, and it says God's hands held the world in, and then it says, gives you a little pause. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the back of that one and stick it on my arm. Not my arm, the arm on the picture. So there we go. Can you see? I've put this one right to the edge because we've got one thing left to stick on, and I want to make sure that it fits onto the hands here, and that the words lead into it. But it doesn't matter if it's on the other side, don't worry. So the last thing I need to stick on is love, and we've got a handprint heart. I'm going to put some glue in the middle and then stick it on top of the top hand. And that is your picture finished. So now you can use this picture to help you remember and tell the story of the very first Easter and why we celebrate Easter. I hope you have lots and lots of fun making this craft. Enjoy, everybody!